Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ceph Day London. Before I begin, I need to thank a bunch of people who've been behind organizing this event. And without their effort, tireless effort, this wouldn't have been possible. So Tony, Phil, Danny, Orit, Gaurav Sutlani, who's not here, but in a different time zone, wishing us good luck to all of us for this event. So thank you very much. I'm so glad that I'm being able to participate in this event. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Neha Ojha. I am a senior development manager at IBM. I'm also a member of the Ceph Executive Council that's responsible for running the open source Ceph project. Today I'm here to present a talk, which is our favorite talk, State of the Cephalopod. And we're going to be discussing what's going on with the community, what's going on with the project in terms of technical stuff, and where are we going in terms of Ceph as a storage solution for enterprise. Before I begin, how many of us in the room know what the history of Ceph is? OK, so that's going to be a whole talk of its own. But I'm going to give a 30-minute version of, just to set context of the 17 years here. Ceph started out as a PhD project at the University of California, Santa Cruz. Sage Weil, he was doing his PhD, and he founded Ceph at that point. From being a PhD project to be software that is running in production for enterprises today, it has taken a lot of effort and a lot of community work to get to this position. And I'm very proud to say it's 17 years of revolutionizing storage with Ceph today. With that, where do we stand now? We couldn't have done this without the open source community and with the help of all our contributors, both from the user community and the developer community. We stand at more than 1,300 contributors that are individual contributors contributing from different organizations all over the world to Ceph. We are over 700,000 and more lines of code. Maybe they're increasing as we speak, as of last week. We are at more than 146,000 overall commits, which includes everything. So Ceph is about source code. Ceph is also about testing. Ceph is also about documentation. So this includes everything that we have committed to Ceph. So you can see there's a lot of rich history in this 17 years old project, and it's here to stay. We are at the 19th release, the Squid release. I'm going to talk more about what's coming in that release in a bit. The key project milestones in the last couple of years have been Cephalopod, Amsterdam, 2023, huge success. After COVID, we all know we were not able to meet. We weren't able to do Ceph days or meetups. We, as a community, got together and said that we have to do it, and we made Cephalopod Amsterdam possible. It wasn't easy, but again, it was perseverance. So I'm very glad that that happened. And now we have to look forward to Cephalopod 2024, which is coming up in the end of this year. It's going to be at CERN, super cool location. The CFP is open. Feel free to submit talks and register. And we'll all get together as a bigger community nearby, Geneva. So beyond that, as far as the Ceph storage footprint is concerned, we know that we have a lot of users that are growing day by day. How we measured it is by the amount of storage we see in our upstream telemetry framework. And we are at close to 1.5 exabytes in pure storage there, used capacity. So that's a huge milestone. Again, telemetry is probably a third of what is real, right? Like, not everybody is enrolled into telemetry, but this gives us a good picture of where we are. Our latest releases, Reef came out last year. Adoption has been strong. We have more than 1/3 of our clusters using Reef, which talks about the stability of the release. We also have the Squid RC that came out last week. So yay, that was one milestone we were all looking forward to very badly. Lots of ups and downs, but I'm very proud to say it's a solid release. So go try it out. And we hope to improve the release as we get to a stable version. In terms of community engagement, we've done a bunch of things last year, I have to say. In Ceph Day, New York, we did launch the Ceph User Council concept. So the idea is to get concerted feedback from community members using Ceph in production to improve Ceph. So with Ceph Day New York, we started with 2 areas, performance and day 1, day 2 operations in terms of orchestration. We have been leading surveys in the community, and I'll talk a little bit about it later in the day. The idea is to get more concerted feedback and improve Ceph in a more trackable fashion. So that's the idea. Beyond that, we have a Slack group going on. I think most of you are part of it. We are expanding that to use a channel called Ceph at Scale. Essentially, the idea there is people using Ceph in production can come provide feedback, ask questions, and just interact. Beyond that, we also have a meetup group now. So we are hosting some of our user dev meetings in a meetup forum. It's an easy way to just share meeting invites. So that's also growing as we speak. Beyond that, there's Ceph infrastructure meetings. So we are continuing to find ways to get together as a community to improve Ceph, not just from the technical point of view, from the release point of view, infrastructure point of view, and from all angles, essentially. Beyond that, we all know that Ceph has been participating in Google Summer of Code, Grace Hopper, Outreachy, and we continue to do that. And this very cool thing, this happened like a couple of weeks ago. So we were interviewed as an open source solution by FedTech magazine to provide a solution for cluster computing, and particularly in the federal space in the US. So it was pretty cool, and I'd highly suggest go read it. Beyond that, there have been some other community updates. So we have a new Ceph Foundation structure. And thanks to our new Diamond members, Bloomberg, IBM, 45 Drives, and the other members who continued to onboard with us in the new foundation structure, the idea was to make the foundation more healthy financially, to be able to do more events, to be able to support more testing infrastructure, and just grow the community in general. So this enables us to do a lot of that. So highly appreciate all the members joining in. And I would urge members who are not part of Ceph Foundation to at least go see what we are doing. I'd love to talk about it if anybody's interested. Beyond that, Mike Perez, who's been a long-time Ceph community lead, has taken on a different role. So we have folks from Linux Foundation helping us with marketing and program management. But I would like to thank Mike in every forum I get, because he's made a lot of difference to how Ceph has grown in the last few years. So highly appreciate whatever he's done. So good luck to him with everything else he's doing. Beyond that, I mentioned Gaurav. Gaurav Satlani has been leading the Ceph Ambassadors program, along with other Ceph ambassadors who are there across the world. So he's just taken lead on it and helping with Ceph Days. So you might see him doing more of these events soon. We talked about Cephalopod, very successful Ceph Days happening this year. We had one in Amsterdam, we had one in New York, we had one in Bangalore, and we also had a meetup in Beijing, which was very nice and surprising because the organizers just finished a very successful event and just came up with an amazing report of it. And that was after, because our first Cephalopod happened in Beijing, so it's close to our heart in some ways. So that was surprisingly nice. Ceph Day London, yay, it's happening. We're all here, so thankful for that as well. And finally, there are other things coming up later in the year beyond Cephalopod. There's Ceph Days Asia coming up in South Korea, which is going to be co-located with Open Infra. Now, let's come to talk some real deal stuff about what we care. What are the technical focus areas of the project? Where are we going in the next few years? These are 4 essentially pillars that are the current focus of the Ceph project. We have been known for our robustness. So for folks who have seen our previous presentations, they would see robustness as one of the pillars. That's no longer a pillar. We assume that we are a solid solution in terms of data safety. What we want to improve upon is consistent performance at scale. We are improving our usability since a lot of years, but we're still not there. We have feedback coming in from the community. That is essentially why orchestration, ease of use is one of the areas for which the user council are also going to focus on. Expanded protocol support and use cases. The follow-up slides are going to talk about a bunch of the work that's going on. The idea is that all the applications that Ceph supports, we are going all out, trying to expand to new use cases and make sure that we're adapting to the new requirements of the industry. And finally, we care about efficiency. We want to save money, right? So we are finding ways to get creative and make Ceph storage efficient in all forms possible, from the core point of view and also from the application point of view. So what's coming in Squid? Let's start with RADOS. So there's a bunch of optimization that has gone into BlueStore to be able to support low latency and lower CPU usage, snapshot intensive workloads. And this essentially also helps with DR use cases of RBD. We are now much more flexible in terms of EC configurations that we support. Things like 4+4, so 2 + 2 on 4 was a problem earlier, which is no longer a problem. Unequal number of K plus M on N hosts was a problem earlier. We couldn't support it. We had to be equally striped across shards. But we now have a new crush rule, MSR, which is multi-step retry, which allows us to do that. So it opens up use cases for EC for smaller clusters. We also have, talking of efficiency, we now have BlueStore RocksDB compression enabled by default, and this also gives us better average performance. Usability improvements continue to happen in Scrub. But as far as the manager is concerned, one thing that I think will resonate with a lot of you using Ceph in production is the manager is known to be hard to debug at scale. And we now have an op tracker for the manager, essentially like the OSDs have, where you can see slow requests, where something is stuck, and what to go look at, and kind of unblock to be able to make progress if you have issues with the manager. So we have that capability by default. And we also have more improvements coming in the balancer in terms of online read balancing, not just number of PGs per OSD. Beyond that, there is more research and ongoing work on client versus client. We all know we have background QoS in Ceph already, which is on by default. But this is beyond it. This goes to client, between client QoS. I'm going to gloss over this slide because there's going to be a talk by Matan who's going to focus on what's coming in Squid for Crimson. All I can say, there's a lot more feature work, a lot more stability, exciting time to be around the project. Telemetry, we love our telemetry. It gives us a lot of insightful information. We've added new pool flag collection that in future will allow us to even identify if somebody is running a Crimson cluster and enable into telemetry, things like that. If you have a particular application that is associated with the pool, we'll be able to figure that out, and that gives us more insights into adoption and stuff. And beyond that, there's more metrics being added to help developers to figure out which direction we need to go in terms of performance tuning, in terms of supporting more features. And finally, there is a new panel, which is about storage capacity utilization by percentile. This is something that the community wanted, so go check it out. As the core of Ceph improves, we are focusing more and more on expansion of the usability side of things, orchestration side of things, and dashboard. So we are adding more CephFS management features in the dashboard. We are adding more of the RGW advanced workflows that were not present earlier. You needed to use the CLI to do all of this stuff. All of this is kind of making the CLI and the dashboard an alternate solution for users to be more hands-off if they like. And that's where a lot of new users want to be. So we're I guess, redefining our dashboard to be equivalent to our CLI and also improving the landing page to get users a better experience. Similarly for Ceph ADM also continues to expand in terms of protocol work. So there's more Samba feature work getting added. There's more NVMeOF deployment and general feature work getting added to Ceph ADM for users to be able to utilize the capabilities of NVMeOF and setting it up correctly. Beyond that, there's focus on day one, day two operations as well. So the idea about zapping OSDs as a part of OSD drain is one of those areas where people felt like we needed to have this as a feature requirement. Rook continues to evolve. So Rook is our Kubernetes-based orchestrator. We have DNS virtual style hosting for buckets now. Rook also has a very cool kubectl plugin for troubleshooting, which now gets shipped with Rook, I believe. So that makes it very easy to debug issues related to Ceph in a Kubernetes environment. So I think that's a pretty cool addition that has come up recently. But in general, as I said, we are just expanding our orchestration framework, making it easier to use, adding more and more protocol-related stuff as the core of Ceph is also expanding. RBD continues to get performance improvements around diff iterate. This is needed for QEMU block status hook. There is more work, and there's another detailed talk about the progress of the NVMeOF work from Orit and other folks later. But the idea is we are now looking towards feature expansion and maturity after the initial addition of NVMeOF support for Ceph. There's also active-passive HA that we have a PR in progress, and I think we're making great progress in that direction. The focus is going to be more on scale testing as well, because with the addition of more features, we don't want to forget our scale testing efforts. Snapshot-based mirroring, as I said earlier, there were improvements in BlueStore to enhance the experience of snapshot-based workloads. There's also work going on in the RBD side of things to enhance snapshotting capabilities. And there are also, for folks who care about Windows, there's also enhancements going on in the RBD WNBD side of things. A single daemon per host, and these are like things that the community cares about, so therefore we are expanding.
Okay.
All right, so with RGW, we continue to add S3 related features. And in that direction, we have user accounts and AWS IAM, which is Identity and Access Management API support, which is now available with Squid. We also have bucket notifications and topic enhancements. There is more AWS signature v4 support being added. And as we enhance features, we are also making sure that the performance counters and tracking becomes better. Observability at every layer becomes better. So there's more performance counters being added for per bucket and per user metrics. And finally, CephFS. CephFS continues to expand. Lots of code hardening going on in general with work around improved efficiency of subtree state journaling, around performance and scalability. There is a new Quace API for backup systems to make multiple shots fully consistent with each other. Kernel FS script support has arrived. That's something that the community has been waiting for a while, so that's there. There is more scalability improvements going on in the manager volumes plugin. We understand that there were some issues that the community had reported, and we knew about some of those problems, and we are trying to address the performance side of that plugin as we go in Squid and further. And like I said, lots of code hardening, ramping up. Our teams are in general growing. The community is growing, so there's a lot of knowledge transfer going on as well. So overall, in a very healthy space. So I guess with that, I think that's the high-level feature work that's coming up in the Squid release. I'm very excited about it. There's a lot of hard work that has gone in, and we'll come up with the contributor report and everything when we come up with the first stable release. But I really look forward to all of you giving it a shot. Like go try the RC out, give us feedback, and let's try to improve Ceph as we go. That's all from me. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Neha. Does anybody have any questions before you run away?
Sure. Yes.
Yep. Give me 1 second. I'll run.
Yeah, so thanks very much for that. I'm just wondering, with the dashboard work and the other things that's going on like vSphere, is this expected to affect the customer support for downstream? Like, is it supposed to reduce that, or are we not sure in regards to what the effects will be?
I think it's going to affect it for the good. I think both, upstream users, customers of different, enterprise level companies are wanting to go hands off. They want more and more features to be added to the dashboard. So I don't see why there are no clashing interests as such. It's going to be for the good for even customers and for upstream users.
Cool, thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, well, thank you very much, Neha.
Thank you.